Hello, welcome to this your channel of the better Eurofan, that's me. After the animated and fun party offered to us by the guys from Lataniva in last year's contest, Armenia keeps its ascending trend in the competition, having achieved the 8th place in the final ranking this time around, which means they are somehow on track to get their fixed victory soon. For this, we will get to know the next artist that will take the baton from them by waving the Armenian colors on the main stage of Basel. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Armenian entry for Eurovision 2025, which will be represented by the singer Parg with the song Survivor. And it is not that he has been in a war, as any one of us, he does whatever it takes to survive in the convulsive world in which we live nowadays. Having said that, let's move on with the review. First of all, let's take a look at his biography and career before him embarking in his Eurovision experience in the Alpine country. Parg, mostly well known as Parg, is an Armenian pop singer and songwriter coming from the village of Yerevan, located in eastern Armenia and currently living in the capital, Yerevan. He shows a huge interest in music since very early age by participating in the choir at the local church of his native village until he moved with his family to Volgograd, Russia at the age of 6. He was studied a degree of theater arts and acting in the Volgograd State Institute of Theater and Cinema, and after graduating he will have his first incursions in music by 2017. Being one of the founders of the group The Edge Chronicles, performing in concerts around Russia, his native Armenia, Georgia, and Ukraine between 2017 and 2019, until their career got interrupted due to the restrictions for the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 getting disbanded by then. Since then, Parg will be more focused in his facet as singer and songwriter than deciding to pursue a solo career. He will release his first singles during that same year, still being in Russia by then, until he decides to come back to his roots by returning to his native country in 2022, establishing in the capital, Yerevan. That same year, he will get widely noticed after being at the opening act for the French singer Saz during the concert she gave in the Armenian capital. He will then decide to take his music to another level by writing more songs and collaborating with other artists, standing out in particular his cover of the songs Now by singer Rosalind, who was the Armenian representative that same year at Eurovision during the edition held in Turin, Italy. And among the singles he released during last year stood out one featuring the singer Brunette, who was the Armenian representative as well in 2023 during the edition held in Liverpool, United Kingdom. All these releases will help him to get wide recognition for his artistic work, standing out as one of the main emerging artists in the Armenian musical scene, despite he has not released his debut studio album yet. Musically speaking, he combines tradition and innovation by blending modern musical genres like pop, rock, and R&B with the traditional music of the country, defining his musical style as both, with which he wants to show the Armenian culture to the rest of the world. Having had some ties to the Eurovision world, it was predictable that he would find the opportunity to showcase his musical project beyond the borders of his home country. Let's see then how he ends up becoming the Armenian representative for the contest. Normally, we would think that they will offer an internal selection like in these recent years, but then the country opted to change their plans this time. And it is because the Armenian public broadcaster has decided to rescue their national final debut Bratesil 5 years after their last edition to select both the artists and the song that will represent the country in Switzerland. For this 4th edition, the submission period will be open in early December of last year for the Armenian artists and songwriters who wanted to send their proposals, closing it by early last January. An expert panel will be in charge to select the 12 finalists after an audition round that took place in early last February, while the artist with its participating songs will be revealed a few days after that audition round, being part among the selected artists and competing with some known faces who had previous ties to the Eurovision world. In one hand, there was the singer Athena Manoukian, who was the then incumbent winner from the national final from 5 years ago, and that would have represented the country in the edition that was going to be held in Rotterdam, Netherlands, before being cancelled because of the COVID-19 pandemic, looking for her rematch in this case. And in the other hand, there was also the singer Anahi Adamian, which was the Armenian representative at Junior Eurovision in 2016 with the duel Mary Vardanyan during the edition held in Valletta, Malta. Regarding the format, it will keep the dynamic exactly the same without significant changes. The televised show will be aired in last mid-February, where the winner will be chosen with a combination of the votes from the national jury, the international jury, and the public in equal parts. After all the finalists had their chance to perform their proposals, the voting results revealed that Parg was the second most voted artist for both the national and international juries, while he was the absolute favorite for the televote, earning the points needed to win the national final and getting subsequently the ticket to represent Armenia in Basel. Fighting his own battle to a martial scaffold. Now we analyze his proposal in more detail, with which he will compete at the contest soon. The melody in this case is a pop rock track with clear reminiscences to the musical style from the group Imagine Dragons. It is good to remark that the instrumentation was quite rusty during the version heard in the national final, then going on to Eurofan to polish the instrumentation of the track, which will be released in last mid-March. On the other hand, Parg's voice is heartbreaking and intense, really suitable to the track, to say, which is also complemented with backing vocals which sound like war chants during the chorus. Regarding the lyrics, it has been written in English by Parg himself together with a large group of international songwriters. Standing out for them, the Swedish songwriters Peter Bostrom and Thomas Gisel, who had wide experience composing entries throughout the years for both Eurovision and Junior Eurovision, not only for Sweden but also for other countries. And the Swiss songwriter Benjamin Olasu, known for being one of the songwriters of the song The Code, with which Nemo would win during the last edition in Malmö, Sweden. About the contest behind, it addresses many circumstances that could be considered challenging in the world we live nowadays, standing out the importance of finding our inner strength and facing the obstacles in life with bravery and decision. Reading the lyrics more in detail, you can appreciate the contest previously described by using metaphors of physical and psychological battles to describe that work he has with the misinformation and post-truths spread by some media and personalities, especially in this current digital era in which we have unlimited information at a glance. In this sense, although they try to change his way to be a thing in endless ways, he remains unstoppable, unbreakable, and staying true to himself above everything. There is no doubt that the song intends to transmit a message of perseverance and optimism, appealing to the resilience to move forward with our lives in the best way possible, even having everything against us. Now that we have checked out a little more about the song, let's see now what it was his live performance during his participation at Epilogue, which serves as the official music video for the proposal. The performance begins in part motionless at first while the song intro is heard, until he starts to perform the first verse with a very energetic attitude and keeping sequence shots on him, noticing that in some moment the shot is getting away, being able to see the sort of rocky prop behind him. A quite energetic and intense dynamic is kept to have the song with visual graphics showing various patterns and shapes, as well as diverse lighting in white and red tones. By the bridge, the stage gets completely dark, and then Parg gets on his knees to put his left hand on the floor, from which red tails are emitted from it, trespassing the rocky prop from behind. These same red tails propagate to the left string at the bottom of the stage as well, while he stands up and the two parts of the rocky prop are joined together. As the intensity increases once again, the lighting feature is very dynamic, seeing smoke columns in the process while there are spinning shots around Parg and a big rock in the visual graphics until the climax of the performance comes with him having this vocal extravaganza moment just before the last chorus, with the rock breaking into 1,000 pieces. In the final chorus, Parg climbs to the top of the rocky prop to finish the performance. From there, closing with a wide shot of the whole stage with the song's title appearing in the visual graphics. Making a summary of the comments, the Armenian entry for this year is fine. I think that it is a proposal that has potential as long as he improves a little more his live vocals from here to next May, although I have no clue if he will be capable to improve the result from last year, depending on how it is perceived by the audience. Personally, I do not feel this song that impactful, but it is the kind of song I usually listen to, so it will have a place in my playlist. For the staging in Basel, maybe they will need a workaround taking into account that he was pretty alone during the national final. They already have Parg's energy and powerful attitude, but they will need to enrich the proposal with additional elements that will help to generate a greater impact. Maybe by adding some dancers and more striking visual graphics, giving it that boost needed to make it to the grand final. In the meanwhile, he is like his fellow contestants presenting his proposal live in the different Eurovision pre-parties of the season until he finally has the chance to step onto the main stage of Basel. This has been the Armenian proposal of this year for the contest. What opinion deserves for you? Is it one of your favorites for this edition, or otherwise it does not get your attention? In any case, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, thus we can keep making discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Thus this video has been of your taste, then give a like so you can bring me your support and help me to reach to more people. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, enable notifications by hitting the bell, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.